live in San Francisco, and in 2019 we decided we wanted to go someplace warm for Christmas. Yes, it's true, we live in sunny California, but in December, in San Francisco anyways, it's usually rainy and like in the upper 40s. You won't freeze to death, but it's no fun. So we took a plane to Miami, where the yearly average temperature is 20 degrees warmer than San Francisco. This is partly because it's further south, but mostly it's because of the Gulf Stream bringing up warmer water from the Caribbean. Our hotel in Miami was on the edge of Biscayne Bay, right next to Bayside Park, a waterfront park that would often host events and concerts. And at the time, they had holiday decorations and played Christmas songs to encourage the shopping spirit. We were pleased to find out that even if it had been an overcast day, you could still go out in a t-shirt all night long. Right next to the park was the Bayside Marketplace, which you've probably seen if you've ever seen an episode of Miami Vice. And it's right next to the marina, and it's a good place to get a drink. The restaurants were mostly chains like Hard Rock, but across Biscayne Boulevard were many excellent restaurants like Ceviche 105. We were happy they talked us into the special. From Bayside, we took a trip to Little Havana, a working-class neighborhood just west of downtown Miami, settled by Cuban refugees and exiles escaping from the Cuban Revolution in 1959. They probably thought it was all temporary, but after the Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961, a counter-revolution that failed when the U.S. withdrew their support, and then the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 that ended with the U.S. promising not to invade again in return for Russia not giving Cuba nuclear weapons, they settled in and slowly realized that Miami was their new home. It was the single largest massive migration to the United States. The heart of Little Havana is Southwest 8th Street, or Calle Ocho. In the middle of Calle Ocho is Domino Park. Games are fast, about 5 minutes each, and mostly played by older men. To play a game, you have to be 55 and older. While more of a social club than a hotbed of revolutionary plotting, it's still probably not a good place to bring up the name Castro. Calle Ocho also had roosters everywhere. Wikipedia says the rooster is an important symbol in Cuban culture. It represents strength and power. And there are also a number of handsome-looking live roosters in Miami. Some said they were brought over for Santeria rituals. Some said for cockfighting. But at this point they were feral and protected by city law, as all wild birds were. The noise and mess could be annoying, but when the city tried to round them up, they found them too smart for traps and too fast to catch. So now they just learned to coexist. Little Havana has many cigar shops, as Cuban cigars are considered the best in the world, but have been illegal since the 60s. This is because in '62, Cuba nationalized American-owned Cuban oil refineries without compensation, so Kennedy issued a trade embargo. It should be noted that Kennedy, hours before signing the 1962 trade embargo, had his press secretary buy over 1,000 Cuban cigars. Perhaps he knew they would become rare. To the north is the Wynwood Art District, an area filled with abandoned warehouses, and since they had no windows, they were perfect canvases for large murals and street art. In the 50s, Wynwood was a mostly Puerto Rican neighborhood, then part of the Garment District, But in the 2000s, this now rundown area was revitalized by developer Tony Goldman, who commissioned artists from all over the world to contribute to what became a massive outdoor art project. At its center, in 2009, Goldman created Wynwood Walls as an outdoor museum of street art, and it included shops, restaurants, galleries, and microbreweries. They took what was once an impoverished and crime-ridden area and turned it into one of the most iconic and most visited neighborhoods in the city. Yearly, Wynwood Walls are visited by roughly 3 million people.